These tech headlines are buzzing with excitement. First up, we're talking about high-stakes games of talent chess as OpenAI reportedly tempts Google's AI's best minds with a jaw-dropping $10 million employment offer. The AI battlefield is heating up, and OpenAI isn't playing small, eyeing a colossal $86 billion valuation. Next, we're diving into OpenAI's big plans for artificial general intelligence. With ambitious as high as the sky, they're talking to Microsoft for a financial boost, hoping to revolutionize AI as we already know it. Then get ready for a blast from the past with a modern twist. Scripps Networks is reviving the classic DVR for the cord-cutting generation, offering a sleek $99 device that promises to change how we watch TV. Finally, we'll unveil the secrets behind the search engine throne, a startling reveal about the lucrative deal between Apple and Google, where billions are at play in the world of search advertising. Buckle up, buckle up. You're listening to the Geek News Central podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Todd Cochran. Get ready. Episode 1706 is coming to you today, Monday, November 13th. A big shout out to our primary sponsor at GoDaddy.com, powering our geeky adventures. Grab their jaw-dropping deals at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And hey, to all our awesome listeners, you're the real MVPs. Back us up at geeknewscentral.com/insider by becoming a GNC insider. If you're feeling the buzz, we're live and lit with those fresh modern podcast apps from podcastapps.com. Join the value for value movement just by hopping onto a fresh podcast app. Again, to all our amazing listeners out there, there's a big virtual hug, big virtual hug. Dive into our digital hub. You know where to find that at geeknewscentral.com. Get on board. Follow or subscribe via your favorite podcast app. You can also slide into our chat room. Our chat room is at geeknews.chat. And we got that social integration going on. And if you have feedback today, it's real simple. All you have to do is email me at geeknews@gmail.com or catch me on X at geeknews, or of course, or follow me lounging on Facebook. Don't forget to check out our partner shows, all linked at geeknewscentral.com. And of course, a massive salute to GoDaddy, the longest continuous sponsor of a podcast, where savings begin here. Lock in your savings today over at GoDaddy. We want you to do that. See if I can push the right button. Get over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Again, make sure that you lock in those savings, and definitely check out all my offers. A penny for a brand new domain name. $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain. $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain name, or $2.99 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year with a free domain, or get a free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal business or business plus plans. Again, savings starts here. Lock in your savings at GoDaddy. Again, a penny for a new domain name. $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain. $2.99 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year, again with a free domain, or that free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal business or business plus plans. I got so excited tonight in getting the show started that I did not hit the YouTube live for about the first 2 minutes. I looked over there. I was like, hey, it's not running. So I'm going to have to grab the the master recording tonight and upload it over the top of the episode. That was dumb. Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm glad to be here with you today. And this is the last studio show for a few weeks, and be on the road. Take the road show on the road. And of course, I hope you're following my new YouTube channel. Nothing new out there. There's only 2 videos up since I launched the new YouTube channel. And but it was a pretty non-adventurous weekend. To be kind of frank with you, I really needed to spend living the bachelor life. There can be times when things get a little out of hand in the loft. So I spent some time this weekend just kind of, cleaning things up and doing some projects I needed to do. And one of the projects was needed to change oil in the generator. So I got the oil changed in the generator. Got some cameras working that weren't working. Took care of some stuff from my mom. It's just all these funny things. It's um, and not to bust on mom at all, but she said my TV. She has a little studio apartment that's separate from her where she lives, and she says my my TV's not working. And I went over there, and she has a little Fire Stick attached to the television, and I turned the TV on, and I'm like, yeah, it's not coming on. I looked in the back, everything's hooked up, and I looked at the ground, and the little USB connector unconnected from the power plug. So that was a 2-minute fix. So and it was, I told her, and she said, I didn't even know where that was plugged in. So now she'll know to look if it ever becomes unplugged again. But it's just a non-adventurous weekend, and the weather was, pretty decent. Took down the flagpole. I don't like leaving my flagpole up all winter. It just sometimes it gets damaged, so I took that down. And, it's not really winter yet here. It's still late fall, but it is what it is. But anyway, hope everyone's doing good. Got a great show lined up for you. Kirk found a good lineup of content tonight for you. And typical busy day here in the office, and really trying to wrap and clean things up and be ready to go on this next adventure. But the stories that you never know what you're going to get coming out of a weekend, and really this big one that I highlighted at the beginning of the show, this OpenAI recruitment. This is incredible. If you are like the man or woman that is like a big dog at Google is recruiting OpenAI is recruiting Google AI employees with a $10 million pay package. Let's think about that. A $10 million pay package. Now, the company's already hired dozens of former Google and Meta employees to work, and has talked with another employee share sale this year. They could value it at $86 billion. So what they're going to do is they're going to give these potential new employees options, share options. So these benefits could be between $5 and $10 million. And the company's closed a share sale in April that saw it valued between $27 billion and $29 billion. Now, OpenAI has hired 93 people who previously worked at Google and Meta. The company has around 59 formal employees and 34 ex-Meta staff working for it as of February. Now, that's a long time ago. But these job listings, without the package, just the salary range is between $245,000 and $450,000 a year. And again, the compensation package is what they're talking about is equity and other benefits. So this equity is, here's a chunk of stock for coming over. You got to work for me for X number of years, and it vets over time, and it's going to be where there's going to be a lot of people getting rich. Over the weekend, I was talking with some friends of mine on Veterans Day observed Friday. What day did it go? It was Saturday, an actual Veterans Day. I went up to the American Legion, kind of hanging around, and a lot of people there they're farmers, or they don't necessarily work in high tech. And I was talking about OpenAI, and if this thing ever goes public on where this stock is going to go. And I'm going to tell you, it was an interesting conversation with them, and just kind of sharing a little bit about what I know, but also what I've also shared with you in the past. I tell you, I think if this thing ever goes public, none of us will probably be able to afford the stock, but I'd sure love to have some. Now, OpenAI also hope that its biggest benefactors are really to belly up to the bar again and write another check. They're looking for more money, and they've already received billions of investments. And Microsoft has already ponied up for $10 billion to fund AGI that's supposed to, what they want, it's to match human intelligence. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here with this, but they're looking for more cash, and I have no doubt, absolutely no doubt in my mind that they're going to get it. DVRs. We haven't heard about DVRs in a long time. Many, many years ago, I talked about a DVR called Tableau. And and the only reason that this kind of surfaced for me is the word. Scripps believes that a $99 DVR can get people excited about watching over-the-air broadcast TV again. Now, in my area where I live, there is no over-the-air. I can't get over-the-air. Doesn't work. Now, maybe you live in an area that has the ability to receive over the air. So I think this is a big, big ask, right? So if you can still receive over the air TV, in other words, you need a cable, you use one of those flat reception antennas now. So they are going to offer the new Tableau DVR. It's the first device of its kind capable of recording movies and TV shows from a few dozen internet streaming channels, and it comes without any monthly fees. And it's also set up to be able to record over the air, and which is kind of weird. Now, Tableau, this isn't the first DVR rodeo. The device Scripps is now selling has been deployed by a Canadian startup that was acquired by the broadcaster in early 2022, which I do not remember this acquisition. And again, the Tableau device was originally, and there might actually be one here somewhere. I might have one in the back in a box someplace, because I remember having access to something like this from CES. But anyway, this thing's been around since 2014, so this is nothing new, but it's an updated one. And so anyway, we'll see. We'll see what they come up with here. But we know that streaming, but it would be kind of cool if you could record some streaming channels. But again, on demand. I was Saturday, I was spending some time kind of flipping through Netflix. I'm just about done with Netflix, to be honest with you. I really didn't find hardly anything on there that I was interested in. I did find something on Apple TV, some show, I forget what the name of it is. You guys are going to correct me here, but it's a show that rewrites history. It's kind of interesting. Talks about how basically it rewrites history in such a way that the Russians beat us to the moon and some other stuff. So that was I watched a couple of episodes of that, and it just really, I don't know, maybe it wasn't moving fast enough. I don't know. I just, it got recommended to me by a business associate. So what are you watching on either Disney, Apple TV? What are you watching on Netflix, Amazon Prime? What is some sci-fi? What is something that is really got you wow right now? What is it that has got you enthralled that you want to watch on one of those paid services? I'm curious. I really, really am. What is, because I'm just watching a lot of YouTube. And they had a great documentary on YouTube about basically, it came out a couple years ago, but it was about the 10-year anniversary after the massive earthquake off of the coast of Japan, the tsunami that followed, and you basically talk about that recovery. That was pretty fascinating. I watched that. So I'm finding cool stuff to watch, but what are you watching on digital TV today that you like? Let me know. But don't need a Tableau to access that, but kind of semi-related. It's being reported that Apple gets 36% of Google revenue in search deal. 36%. Wow. Kevin Murphy, University of Chicago professor, disclosed the number during his testimony in a Google defense at the Justice Department antitrust trial in Washington. Both Google and Apple objected to revealing details publicly about their agreement. In a court filing last week, Google argued that revealing information about the deal would unreasonably undermine Google's competitive standing in relation to both competitors and other counterparties. The company's had a partnership since 2002 that makes Google the default search engine in Apple's Safari. Today, that deal is the most important of Google's default deals since it sets the search engine for the iPhone, the most used smartphone in the United States. Apple gets 36% of the revenue that you drive Google from search in your Apple devices. That's an impressive number. Google gives up 36%. Now, they don't talk about any other money. It's just a rev share. That's big. That's big news. We've always wondered if Google paid Apple, which they may still, but yet this rev search that's a major thing. And this is where all these other browsers like, hey, unfair advantage, anti-competitive. This is all about what the Department of Justice's trial is all about. So very, very interesting. I will say that off the top. So AWS, Amazon Web Service staff, of course, work all over the world. But this is a weird one. An Amazon staffer seems keen to show off an AWS workspace by giving a guided tour of a prime AWS location, which is a 100-year-old prison. Unlike a dome structure, not unlike Rome's Pantheon, the Koppelgevangenis in the Netherlands was designed as a prison along the panopticon principle, which means the guards can see the prisoners, but the prisoners don't know if they're being watched. Unkind observers may conclude it's fitting that Amazon took residence in this Dutch national monument. The structure was a working prison when it opened in 1901 to 2016. After this, it was used to house Syrian refugees seeking asylum status in the Netherlands. So, by the way, in Netherlands, if you seek asylum status, you have to go to a prison and wait until you're approved or not. You just don't get free run of the country. AWS took up residency in 2022 in a bid to support local entrepreneurs and small businesses who also rented office space in the former incarceration units. So link is in the show notes, and you can look at the TikTok videos. Very interesting. Google has some new tools to find holiday discounts. We know Google gets a lot of traffic around the holidays. Now, if you're searching things like shop deals or shop sneaker deals, Google will return a brand new search experience based on products, images, and of course, discounts. The new deals page will show promotion discounts on top of holiday categories like electronics, apparel, toys, and beauty products. Google will include deals from popular big box stores. And this is part of the experience available to everyone. If you're using Chrome, you'll see many more price tracking features. So be prepared. If you search for a certain product, they're going to resell to you in your search results, and they're going to offer up links to where the cheapest price is. I'm sure that's going to make retailers happy. And Google will show you typical pricing as well as the price for the last 30 days. And you'll be able to see where that is going. You'll also be able to do push notifications, just like you can do an airline search now, and you can set up a notification to send you a search result when prices for airline tickets are down or where they're at. They'll do a push notification for these, for your gift buying as well, so you can shop and find the best deals. May not be such a bad thing. Now, this next article, I find it ironic. Disney pulls TV channels from Vietnam. The government is concerned piracy will run riot. Well, let me tell you. When I was down in the Dominican Republic, in my Airbnb, there was a TV box that, to be frank with you, was pretty compelling. It had about 1,500 channels. It had everything. Every paid TV in the United States, every paid TV in Japan, every paid TV in Europe, it had just about every paid TV service known to man. And I was like, how do they get this? I don't know where they bought it. Still don't. I searched for it while I was there, didn't find it, have nary a clue how they get these boxes. Well, in Vietnam, they have massive privacy. They have massive copyright issues. They have all these same types of services that you can get just through pennies on the dollar, a subscription, IP-based, where it's all bootleg. For Vietnam to voice piracy concerns, this is hilarious. And you'll find when you travel outside the United States, all the stuff that you're paying big bucks for, it's available everywhere. It's available. It's all bootlegged. It's all available over IP. Everyone out, just many, many, many countries, these services are available. They use VPNs, a whole bunch of variety of other stuff to mask. So it's ironic that the Vietnam government is concerned that piracy will run riot. Well, it already is. Hello. Now, in a twist here, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said a ransomware attack on China's biggest bank minimally disrupted Treasury market trades. Now, China's buying a lot of debt. She said that U.S. and Chinese finance officials discussed the attack in San Francisco where they met Friday. We've not seen any impact on the Treasury market. I think is an example of why we need close communications. This is a situation where it's critical to be able to pick up the phone and know that you would have a good response on the other end, that we can trust one another to work together. Trust? Huh. The impacted Industrial and Commercial Bank of China Financial Service handles trades and other services for financial institutions. The bank said a ransomware attack Wednesday forced it to disconnect and isolate affected systems to limit the impact of the attack. And for a Chinese bank to be hacked for ransomware, I think that's news. I think that's big news. Now, I doubt the attack came from China itself, but who did attack the Chinese bank? That's the question. Moving on, Bing AI is likely getting crushed in the battle against Google search. But does Microsoft really care? People are talking about Bing AI is not driving traffic. In fact, last year, Bing was 7.4% of traffic. Now it's 6.9%, whereas Google is notched up from 86.7% to 88% now. Does this mean that Bing AI is a failure for Microsoft? Well, I don't think they really care. The initial aim with Bing AI was to boost the attractiveness of Bing.com. But what's coming next? They want people to adopt Windows 11 to get Copilot. And now they're talking about putting Copilot in Windows 10. So was the move to put Copilot in Windows 10 because they're not gaining traffic and they have to make their multi-billion-dollar investment start to pay back? Or is Microsoft worried that the people they invested in are doing better getting monthly subscriptions than they are alone? We talked extensively on the last show on how GPTs have changed my outlooks on everything. It remains the same today as it was then. So it's interesting to see where this is all leading. Now, I'm not familiar with this company, but a top U.S. mortgage lender called Mr. Cooper has confirmed that certain consumer data may have been exposed following a recent cyber attack. The leak relates to an October 31st cybersecurity incident. How many records? The company has 4.3 million customers on the books. They have not said how many of their customers have been affected here, but they will probably let you know. But if you have your mortgage through Mr. Cooper, just be aware of this. Rumor Control says iOS 18 is tipped to be an ambitious upgrade, 5 ways it could change the iPhone. We already know that Siri is going to get some new AI capabilities. There's supposed to be much more useful search features. So, the search features to me is very frustrating. I've got so many apps on my phone that finding an app, if I forget what an app's name is, I'm screwed. I have to scroll through. The search for apps is horrible. And sometimes the search for content is not so great. Also, they're saying that iCloud is going to become a must-have. I think that's already. I'm already a big iCloud user. That's where my pictures are backed up of one of 2 places. So I don't know. We'll see. And the camera app, of course, they showed off their last announcement for the Mac Pros. They said it was all shot on an iPhone, of course, edited heavily in, not in the iPhone, but they got some visual lookup tools, and be honest with you, sometimes this is one thing I do wish about pictures. Sometimes you can search for pictures. I was searching for a picture that I took way, way, way back in 2010. Yes, I know that's way back. And search did not work well to find that picture. I had to go back to 2010 in my timeline and find that image, right? Of course, the iPhone came out in 2009, I think. So, that was really near the beginning. And how those pictures have improved over the years, too. Go back and look at some of your older pictures you took with the iPhone from early days. But it'd be nice if these pictures were more searchable, that I could find stuff. I guess they're going to promise that. And Apple Music is supposed to be improved in such a way to take the test, or basically put the battle up against Spotify. We'll see. At the same time, Google Photos update could make it a more powerful reminder app. And this is a weird feature. I don't understand why they're doing this. Now, when I need to set a reminder, I just go on my phone, and I either on an Android or on an iPhone, and I just add myself a reminder, set a calendar event with an alarm. Why do I need a reminder, built into Google Photos? Well, that's what they're doing. They're going to you set a reminder feature in Google Photos. It's the weirdest thing. There's a YouTube video on it, and I'm like, why? Why do you want to do that? But it says, here's the use case. As someone who snaps photos on his phone to serve as reminders and reference points, this new feature seems particularly handy. Sure, it's not hard to bounce into a calendar app and set your own reminder, but being able to do things with fewer taps or swipes through app menus is certainly appealing to me, and also it means the information you're after is right in front of you. What are you going to do? Take a picture of your car and remind yourself that you've got a oil appointment or something? I don't get it. Someone that is listening that knows why you would want your phone or your pictures to be used as a reminder, I don't get it. That one I don't understand. I really don't. Maybe easier to find later, but as a reminder, I don't know. If you're on Discord and one of your coworkers is on Discord, or somebody you know's on Discord, be cautious. Every day, cyber attackers are working on finding new ways to perform more advanced disruptive attacks and bypassing identity security. And they're doing Discord to do it. Now, we do no company business on Discord. We're on Slack. So everyone that's on Slack, we know they're on Slack. And matter of fact, company policy is we don't share passwords over Slack. Someone needs a password reset, we set it up so that they have to go in and change their password. We don't pass passwords even over Slack because that could end up in a data breach someday and those passwords could be exposed. Same thing in Discord. Don't fall for some scam. And really exciting news, this is big. The White House has released a plan to grow radio spectrum access with possible benefits for internet and drones. Now, we all know that there is only a certain amount of radio frequency space. It is not unlimited, and it is highly licensed now in many places. But the National Telecommunications Information Administration will perform a 2-year study on how to possibly repurpose, listen to this, 2,786 megahertz of spectrum. That's massive. That's a big swath. 2,786 megahertz, that's a big area to work in, which we could use for wireless broadband, drones, and satellites. So they didn't say what is the frequency they're looking at. Did they say? Yeah, they haven't said. So this is big. This is big. And again, we need some more frequency opened up. Hey, in space news, and this is a little bit follow on with an article we had several weeks ago, but it made space.com. James Webb Space Telescope finds an extreme glow coming from 90% of the universe's earliest galaxies, and scientists are very, very puzzled. Well, if the Big Bang holds true, they feel that these galaxies should not be so bright, or they shouldn't even exist. So physicists are having challenges about trying to figure out why these galaxies, now that we can see so deep into our past with this new telescope, why is it so bright? And they say the brightness of their magnitude should only come from galaxies with as many stars as the Milky Way, yet the galaxies took shape in a fraction of the time our galaxy took to form. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see what they come up with. They're scratching their head. What we know is, every now and again, we put something in space or we find something, it upends all scientific theory. This is why nothing should be discounted. Exxon, that's a word, right? It's a word that you associate with oil. Listen to this. Exxon to start lithium production for EVs in the U.S. by 2027. ExxonMobil will be producing lithium from subsurface wells by 2027 to provide supplies of key metal used in electric car batteries. Exxon will start production from briny waters pumped out of the ground in an area of the state of Arkansas known to hold significant lithium deposits. So basically, they're going to be extracting lithium. They're not going to build batteries. They're just going to start. And this is lithium is in high demand. They will use conventional oil and gas drilling methods to access lithium-rich saltwater from reservoirs about 10,000 feet underground. So now I wonder what the environmentalists are going to say. You want your batteries. You want your car batteries. Are you going to get pissed off when Exxon starts drilling for the material you need for your car batteries? Are you going to protest them? They're not drilling for oil, they're drilling for lithium. That sets the story on its head, doesn't it? Volvo's first electric minivan has a roof-mounted screen for movies and Zoom calls. Volvo. I had a Volvo once. I'll never own another Volvo. Most expensive vehicle I ever owned for repairs. The Volvo EM90, yes, has a big screen that the kids in the back can see. I can't see this being used by a driver or passenger. You got to be sitting in the back seat. It's mounted in the overhead. It's basically a living room on wheels. Just put monitors in the back of the seat so the kids can see it. Don't need some big monitor up here to cause distracted driving. Come on now. Apparently, I've run out of my free Reuters articles I can review each month. So basically, if you want to see what Reuters tries to do to make you to say register for free to continue using Reuters.com, you've reached your article limit. Well, hopefully you guys haven't clicked through, but payment app Zella begins refunds for imposter scams after Washington pressure. And I don't have any more details than that because I can't read it. So, Kirk, no more Reuters story this month. Here in Michigan, a data breach of healthcare records. This is massive. McLaren Healthcare notified more than 2 million people about the data breach. So again, this happened on around July 28th through August. So it's taken them a while here to disclose. And but again, if you're with McLaren, they've notified you about the data breach and your personal information that has been exposed. Google, meanwhile, has sued scammers that allegedly released a malware-filled Bard knockoff. So the hype surrounding emerging technologies creates a wild west of sorts for bad actors seeking to capitalize on consumers. To that end, Google is suing scammers who allegedly tricked people into downloading an unpublished version of its Bard AI software. Instead of a helpful chatbot, the Bard was stuffed with malware. So they went after, they did over 300 takedown notice, and just a large number of people have been sued. I don't know where it's going to go. Most of them are outside the United States. A little more OpenAI news. OpenAI seeks to gather data from more languages and cultures. So they plan to expand its work with outside organizations to collect data from a broader range of languages, which is cool. So if you think about that, again, I don't have a Digitimes subscription, but basically, if they can train their models on a wider variety of languages and information, it just gets better for all of us. Workers are putting their companies at risk by downloading software without permission. Because so many people are working from home, and workers in 2/3 of organization study were found to be introducing risk by downloading application software on their hardware without their IT or security teams being in the know. And 2 in 5 of UK's participating organizations suffering from a security breach as part of a cyber attack last year. Clearly some work to be done because of business device management. We just ask our team members to be responsible. And we use two-factor authentication and a whole other bunch of other things to validate people's accounts when they're logging in and so forth. But this is what's going to happen when you have more remote workers provided with a computer from the office. If they don't have IT controls on them, they definitely are going to be installing whatever they want. That one already covered. Apple could launch a bigger iPad Air before its OLED iPad Pros next year. So there's been rumored an introduction of a new 12.9-inch size for an AirPad 6. So a 10.9 and a 12.9, 10.9 and a 12.9 are scheduled for mass production. This comes from one of the folks that are nearly dead on, and potentially with M3 chipsets. The iPad Pros will get refreshed with the newest M3 chipsets. Okay, that makes sense. Do you really need a M3 Pro and an iPad? I just use my iPad for reading and some email, some social media. I don't use my iPad for anything more than that. That doesn't need an M3 chip. If you are a investor in Robinhood, Alphabet, Google's parent company, dissolved its stake in the trading app by over 90%. And the disclosure comes months after it slashed its stake. It had around 612,000 shares after the sale, so they've gotten rid of a bunch of it. So they don't see Robinhood as a good investment. And the stock has been down too. The stock closed today at like $8.30 from a high just a week ago, or today, $9.69. So they took a hammering today in a drop. Apple said to be prepping to outrageous M3 Ultra chip for power users. Ultra. So we got M3 Max, and M3 Ultra could come. Wow. So that would mean four versions of the M3 chip, saying it's going to be massive performance. Well, of course, that's speculative. We will see. The ransomware group, they went after Boeing. They leaked the information. But the malware hunter team noted that many of the files appear associated with Avali, Avall, which is a Boeing-owned aviation and aerospace component manufacturing company, which it acquired in 2006, and they retired. But here's a weird thing: they retired the brand, or they announced plans to retire the brand in 2020. So I'm sure a lot of their stuff got merged. So is this really that bad? That's the thing, is the files, they say, are quite old. So no wonder Boeing did not pay the ransom on that. Google's also using a product called Jigsaw to track terrorism in the dusty corners of the internet. It's a free Google tool aimed to help smaller online platforms scrub terrorist content. So in other words, companies can use this to look at their content on their website to see if they've got anything bad on there, which is kind of cool to do to search. Also, over in The Verge is a good article about the right to repair movement. You know, Apple stunned the world when it came out in support of California's right to repair law, but software locks and other obstacles seem to signal that the fight is far from over. Because, you know, if you have a MacBook or something needs to be repaired and you have a password or a thumbprint or something like that, and you have an activation lock, so you're not getting into that machine no matter what. So someone that got 20 MacBooks from an e-waste recycler who routinely refurbishes MacBooks that are more than 10 years old shouldn't have had a problem salvaging these computers, the oldest of which were from 2018, but only half of them were fully restorable because of the activation lock, meaning the prior owner had forgotten to wipe the device and nobody else could reactivate it. Another 5 had broken screens that would lose true tone unless he replaced them with expensive new screens from Apple. And so it goes on and on. So first of all, if you're going to be turning in a computer for recycling and it's still working, please wipe the device. Scrub it. Don't leave your data on there. You think it's encrypted? Well, that stuff changes. Scrub your device before you send it to a recycler or you sell it. Or you do a trade-in. If you do a trade-in with Apple, you wipe the device before you send it in. Just go on Google. Google, how do I wipe my MacBook? Or how do I wipe my iMac? Or how do I restore factory defaults? Erase all data off my Mac. You'll find hundreds of YouTube videos to show you how to do it. Frank Bowman, the NASA astronaut in charge of the first crewed expedition to the moon, has died at age 95. He's best known for commanding Apollo 8 in 1968 and an audacious mission to orbit the moon on the very first crewed launch of the Saturn V. Borman's first assignment laid the groundwork for subsequent operations with Gemini 7. The target for the first crewed rendezvous I can't talk tonight. The first crewed rendezvous in space. And his career began with a selection from the second group of astronauts, including Neil Armstrong, Jim Lovell, and John Young. Then the chief of astronaut corps, Deke Slayton, described the 9 in the book Decal as probably the best all-around group ever put together. Of course, Deke Slayton was in charge of selecting astronauts. So may he rest in peace. 95 years old. Finally, Google Photos AI Magic Editor won't change pictures of IDs, receipts, faces, or bodies. So that's where that is. Hey, I did want to share tonight. I got an email. Dun dun dun. Let me go here and get this loaded. Don't leave, anyone. Let me go down here. Am I in the right? No, I'm not in the right account yet. And of course, I didn't have this loaded. Oh, where is this? Oh my gosh, Todd, come on. All right, I got an email from Darren. Darren, I got your boost. It came in. He said, "Hey, Todd, I finally got around to boosting you, but I got the following error." Well, I've got the boost right here. It came in. It says, "Congratulations, Todd. This is my first boost. Been listening since the teens. Love that your passion for podcasting in this podcast is still so strong. Keep up the great work." So, Darren, you've been here since the teens. And he sent 22,222 sats. A row of ducks, that's what we call that. Been here from the teens. So, how many of you have been here from the teens? There's a number of you that have been here since double digits. There's not a lot of you. So thanks for that, Darren. That was really, really cool. I got a bunch of boosts for being on the Podcasting 2.0 show. I won't go into those. But Darren, send me your if you're using Fountain or whatever, send me your address, my friend. And I will send you some sats so you can share the love. But yeah, thanks for the 22,000. It just probably took a little while to come through. Sometimes it happens with lightning. But I received it. I did. So thank you so much here. Also, let me back up. See what there was another email that came in. Dan, I got your email from 5 Hey, Todd, you asked for an email about the AI 1700 cake. It's a special episode. Good old AI. Yeah, Dan, thanks for that. And I believe I still have to send my Amazon gift card to our winner from 1700. So that was a good reminder of that. But anyway, keep your emails coming. geeknews@gmail.com. That's the email address to use, geeknews@gmail.com. All right, so no show this Thursday. I have another show on Monday, only audio. There'll be no video. The new media show might be video. Haven't decided yet, but no video for Geek News Central for a couple of weeks. So as I told you on the last show, everything will be in the audio will be in both the audio and video feed of the podcast. So you won't miss an episode if you're subscribed to the video feed. And so heading off to whereabouts unknown. And anyway, be recording the show remotely. Try to have it out on a normal schedule. It may come out a little later than it normally does. But don't worry, it'll be in your inbox. So the next show will be a week from today, the next episode. So take your time to go over to Geek News Central, listen to some of the partner shows at geeknewscentral.com, the GNC Week in Review, the Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain. Definitely do that. If you're not using one of those newfangled podcasting apps, go to podcastapps.com, grab yourself one, and grab yourself a new podcast app. Get involved in the Value for Value. And do just like Darren did and boosted the show. That's the way it works. Appreciate that you did that. Thank you so much. And but again, hope you're all doing well. Take care of one another. I'll be back with you a week from today. Stay safe. Watch out. Be careful. And we'll see you next time here at the Geek News Central podcast. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.